Hey guys, welcome to another video for the Mi 11X, Poco F3 and Redmi K40. One device, three names, and today we are talking about an official ROM that is Corvus Os 16.8. I've been using it since a couple of days and I thought it's time for a complete review before we actually go ahead and check out some other ROM. Now before we get into all of this, if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the notification bell icon so that you get notified every time I upload a video. In the description of each video, you will find a link to our Telegram community where you have more than 1,000 like-minded people chatting with each other, so join us there. Last but not the least, if you think the hard work is worth the effort, please click on the join button and support the channel. Now without further ado, hello awesome people, welcome to PhoneOps. My name is Kailash. Let's get going. Alright, so what do we have here? Corvus Official R Elliot, that is the code name for this device. 16.8 Avalon, this is a version of Corvus and based on Android 11, updated on the 4th of September 2021. But this is a pretty decent ROM, and as you can see over here, the animation, the smoothness is there. So today we're going to follow a smooth, defined system that we follow in reviewing ROMs. We will, check out the UI and we'll look at the benchmark numbers. We'll talk about the battery numbers and what are the bugs that I have experienced. But as you can see over here, I have almost enabled all the customization options to show you guys how does a device look when you customize it to the, T. Like almost all the options enabled. Even after that, is there any stutter, any jitter or not? And is there a deal breaker for you, which will tell you that, you don't need to use this ROM and stuff like that. So let's get into it right away. As always, the first thing that you look at when you boot the ROM for the first time is the home screen. Corvus OS, just like any other Android ROM, gives you a very clean UI, a very smooth UI. To the left, of course, you have Google Feed, and you will see that you don't have any stutters. It is smooth as butter, right? As always, it is extremely smooth, and on the home screen you don't really have a lot of icons, no major widgets or nothing like that. In fact, the weather widget itself is missing as well, which is okay. Different ROMs have different ways of customizing themselves. So if you swipe from the top to bottom, you will see that you have colored notification tiles or colored quick tiles over here. That is something that I have gone ahead and customized from the theming menu. But if you press the edit button over here, that is where Corvus comes into the picture. Now you will see that there is a ton of options when it comes to quick tiles. You have heads up, you have volume panel, you have CPU info, reboot, caffeine, audio mode, USB tethering, sound search, sound compass, sync, dark theme, accent. You do have your dedicated gaming mode, screenshot, focus mode, and all the other Android 11 goodies. So if you have a look over here, you can directly switch the theme from here and just see how cohesive the animation is. It's very subtle. It looks really great, right? So the customization tiles are pretty good. You do have almost all the options that you will ever need in a custom ROM over here. Now another important aspect, let's talk about the screen recorder, right? So you do have internal and external audio. You have show touches, so click on start and you will get a timer over here. There you go. No stutter whatsoever. The power of Snapdragon 870 shows. You can see the screen is being recorded right now, but you don't have any stutters at all. It works as smooth as it can get. So once the screen recording has stopped, you can go ahead and do whatever you want with it. You can go ahead and share it, you can delete it. So it works as completely expected. Now to the left, of course, you have Google Feed, and if you talk about the launcher, if you flash the vanilla version of this ROM, you will get the Pixel launcher. But let's see over here. Let's go to home settings. You do get a different launcher, not the Pixel launcher. So this does have some customization more compared to the stock ROM over here, right? So let's go ahead and check the other aspects. Now you do see that the smooth UI, checking the notifications and stuff, it's really quick. Now that is something that I have come to like, and we will talk about one major drawback, probably a sort of a deal breaker that might stop you from using this ROM towards the end of this video. But the moment you go into settings, you will see you have something called as Corvus settings over here. Now this is the important aspect of any custom ROM, because the term custom ROM and then you have customization. The moment you click on it, you have Raven's Lair, you have themes, and then you have Raven Desk. This is something that you can go ahead and download, and you know, that is a different story altogether. But you have Raven's Lair, where you have all the customization and it is laid out in a very nice way. You do have notifications, gestures, miscellaneous. Now remember, because I was using this ROM as my daily driver, I have gone ahead and explored each and every option. So let me quickly go ahead and take you through all the options that are available. For example, in notifications, you do have ambient options, show always on, like that's the always on display, show on new notification, screen edge lightning, that is the customization. So whenever you have a new notification, the screen will basically pulse, or it will glow, or it will turn on for new notifications. That is this setting over here. Battery charging light, I don't really think the Mi 11X has a battery charging light. I've not seen one till date. You have heads up notifications, notification count, reticker, use app colored background, right? So you can see over here, you see this is active battery. It is a green colored notification. So based on the app that you get a notification for, that colored notification will be sent. So that is something really neat. Now apart from this, under notifications, you don't really have a lot of customization, but under gestures, you have double tap to sleep lock screen and double tap to sleep on the status bar. As you can see, double tap again, there you go. So those options are working, screen off, power on, torch. So that's everything that you have under gestures. Now let's go to miscellaneous over here. Launch music app on headset connection, gaming mode, there you go. You have all these options for gaming mode, and I am going to do a dedicated gaming review for this ROM. That is the reason you see BGMI and Call of Duty ready to go. These are the two games I will be testing if they can handle 90 or 120 FPS, whatever max frame rate these games have to offer. So you have your dedicated gaming mode there. You have the display cutout option, and then you have the settings dashboard, in which you can decide which sorts of, you know, theme or what sorts of color and stuff you need. You have an option of full screen applications, vibrate on connect, vibrate on call waiting, vibrate on disconnect, and where to play ringtones from, right? So you have this option as well. That is something really neat. You can customize your animations over here under animations. Now if you move to the second tab, you do have lock screen items, wherein you have a ton of customization, charging animation, media art cover filter, lock screen charging info, and these options are working just fine. You do have fingerprint preferences. Now because this device comes with a side mounted fingerprint scanner, you don't really have a lot of customization. Moving on over here, you do have your battery options. So something pretty basic, pretty similar. You see over here at the top, you have the battery bar. I have enabled that just to show it to you guys. I don't use it a lot. Battery style, icon, portrait, dotted, circle, as you can see, it changes instantly. So you can go ahead and make those changes. You have clock option. So you have all the clock settings, date format, the font, what type of a clock you want, where you want the clock to be. So all those options are available as well. Moving on, you have icon manager. So this is where I've done some customization. For example, as you can see, the Volti icon over here that you can see is from Oxygen OS. You can customize the voice over Wi-Fi icon as well. So that is something really neat. And then you have the quick settings customization. Now it's a lot of things that you can change in quick settings, and you can go ahead and pause the video and look at the settings and decide if you have the setting that you want or not. Then you have your traffic indicators, which I have enabled in the status bar. And in the last tab over here, you have buttons. So you can choose what the hardware buttons will do. Then you have navigation, IME arrows and stuff, inverse layout, and you have the power menu, wherein you can add additional options, like for example, flashlight. There you go. So you have one additional trigger there, which you can go ahead and add there. So basically, Raven's Lair allows you a ton of customization. You can take complete control of the UI, and you can customize the phone the way you like to use it. So you have icon shape, you have quick setting, tile style, status bar, quick setting icons, quick setting, header style, switch style, system theme, schedule, status bar height, and rounded corner. So you pretty much have everything in the customization menu that you would like to customize. So that's everything about the customization menu, and you have a ton of options in the customization menu. Now when you look at the settings menu of Corvus OS itself, you will see that you have these subtle animations which you can go ahead and enable and disable, and as a whole it works really well for me. I've not really had any major issues. But when you talk about a complete review, there are certain factors which define you'll be able to use this ROM as a daily driver or not. So let's go ahead and talk about those, because till now we were talking about the ROM, the UI, the smoothness and all the other things. Let's talk about things like battery life, charging, safety net, HD playback in Amazon Prime, that is wideband L1, and how all those things fare in this particular ROM. So as far as the battery life is concerned, you do see that it does say estimated full charge lasts about 21 hours and 30 minutes. Screen usage since full charge for me has been around 3 hours. So I do get around 6.5 hours of screen on time, because we are still at 45%, right? And if we have a look over here, I have been playing games, I have been doing other things as well. So it is, as far as the battery backup is concerned, I'm not saying it's super amazing, but it is getting the job done for me, right? Now, the only pain area for me, which I said earlier, which might be a deal breaker for a few, is the charging speed. It is not giving me very, very fast charging. Like, it feels like a 18-watt charger when I connect it to the 33-watt charger as well. So I hope the Corvus team fixes this in the near next update or something. Apart from this, if you talk about safety net, I don't really have any problems with safety net. You can go ahead and use banking applications, and Amazon Prime HD, wideband L1, everything is working as expected. Now, as far as the camera is concerned, this does ship with Google Camera Go. It does your basic job of taking pictures and clicking videos, but it is not as good as Gcam. So you might want to select a good Gcam port with a proper XML and all the proper settings to get a decent experience. So, the camera department is something you'll have to try, test and work with the best combination that works for you guys. Now, apart from this, let's talk about the bugs before we actually get into benchmarks. There was one instant wherein I had to restart the phone when I was having some issues with making calls. I was not able to make calls. The flight mode didn't help either. And there was another isolated instance wherein I was using my earbuds, but they would disconnect every time I tried to play music. So I restarted the phone and that got fixed. So not major bugs, but yes, some issues here and there. Apart from this, Corvus OS for me has been pretty decent. I did try playing BGMI, and I can't say that I had the best experience when it comes to gaming, although Corvus OS is known to be a gaming ROM. But hey, as I said in one of my previous videos as well, you don't really have a dedicated gaming ROM, because these are all AOSP ROMs which want to perform better, but on some the games work great, on some they don't. And I really hope in the newer updates the gaming performance will be much better for Corvus OS, although we will have a full dedicated video coming up of Corvus OS gaming. Now, apart from this, if you ask me, as a whole, as a daily driver, you can definitely go ahead and use Corvus OS with your best Gcam setup, all your banking applications working. You really should not be having a lot of problems. But let's quickly have a look at the benchmark numbers, and we will start with the CPU throttle test. All right. Now, the CPU throttle test and the benchmark applications were run with game mode and the thermal profile sent to benchmark. So the average score was 230,469 GIPS, and there was no thermal throttling detected in a 15-minute test. Now, if you ask me, that is a very good result. Now, let's go ahead and also have a look at Geekbench over here, because that is sort of a trusty benchmark. So let's quickly go to history. 979 and 3083, not the best multi-core score, but then it is up there when it comes to the overall performance score. Unfortunately, Antutu gave us errors. We were not able to test Antutu. So all in all, if you ask me, Corvus OS is on the right track. It has a ton of customization. You can install your best camera application. The gaming works fine for your casual gaming. The only caveat is that it charges a little slow. If you can deal with that, Corvus OS for you as a daily driver is a pretty decent ROM. You should not have any problems with battery backup, random reboots, no such issues detected there. I have been using it for the last 2 days. Now remember, me 11x users, you guys are getting a lot of content for this particular device, so it's a good time to subscribe and hit the notification bell icon, because we have Cherish OS official, we have Siberia OS official that has been available for this device since yesterday. I'm going to flash them, and I'm going to give my review and install instructions on that soon. Let me know in the comment section what do you think about this video. Until the next one, this is Kailash signing off at PhoneOps. Keep smiling. Take care. Goodbye.